in the tumultuous annals of aerial warfare. Some machines simply redefined the game, and Nazi Germany's Messerschmitt Bf-109 was precisely one of them. Born in 1937, it wasn't just a fighter, it was a symbol of Germany's defiant rise after World War I, a beacon of national pride under Adolf Hitler's leadership. When the Bf-109 first took to the skies, it immediately rendered all preceding fighter designs, largely biplanes, obsolete. It was the most advanced, most capable fighter platform anywhere in the world at the time, an extraordinary engineering feat that other nations could only dream of. But behind its glorious facade and numerous victories on all fronts of World War II, from the Spanish Civil War to the harsh Eastern Front, lay a deadly paradox. A seemingly minor design flaw, its narrow track undercarriage, nestled beneath the fuselage, became a pilot's nightmare, causing thousands of tragic accidents. Throughout the war, an estimated 5% of all Bf-109s, roughly 1,750 aircraft, were lost to undercarriage related incidents alone, a heavy price for a design oversight. How could a machine celebrated as one of the top aircraft designs of all time, a true legend in the air, harbor such a fundamental flaw? This is the story of the Messerschmitt Bf-109, a machine of incredible power, yet full of deadly surprises. To truly grasp the significance of the Bf-109, we must rewind to the aftermath of World War I, when the German war machine was dismantled under the humiliating Treaty of Versailles. But with Adolf Hitler's rise to power, a new objective emerged: to rectify what they perceived as historical injustices. The German Air Ministry, RLM, launched an ambitious program in the summer of 1934, calling for Germany's first modern monoplane fighter to replace outdated models like the Arado R-68 and Heinkel He-51, which were biplanes reflecting decades old warfare, featuring open cockpits and fixed undercarriages. Messerschmitt, under the leadership of Willy Messerschmitt and Walter Rathel, entered this fierce competition. They didn't start from scratch. They had previously developed the successful Bf-108 Typhon, an advanced ports and touring aircraft, with all metal-stressed skin construction, an enclosed four-seat cabin, fully retractable undercarriage, and low-set monoplane wings. The Bf-108 first flew in 1934 and set several endurance records. Messerschmitt leveraged these successes, transferring the superior characteristics of the Bf-108, such as its metal construction, enclosed cockpit, retractable gear, and cantilever monoplane wing to the new fighter design. The goal was to fit the most powerful engine available at the time into the smallest possible airframe, promising superior speed and handling. The initial engine targeted was the 610 horsepower Junkers Jumo 210A. However, when the first Bf-109 prototype, designated V1, took flight on May 29, 1935, it was ironically powered by a British engine, the 695 horsepower Rolls-Royce Kestrel V. Later, the V2 prototype was fitted with the planned Jumo 210A engine. Despite facing formidable competitors like Arado, Heinkel, and Focke-Wulf, the Messerschmitt Bf-109 ultimately triumphed over the Heinkel He-112 to secure the production contract, formally giving birth to an aviation legend. The Bf-109 entered Luftwaffe service in 1937, around the same time its main rival. The Supermarine Spitfire was also being developed in Britain. The BF designation was derived from the first manufacturing facility, Bayerischer Flugwerk. The pre-production Bf-109 paved the way. For the first formal production model, the Bf-109B, Bertha, in February 1937. That summer, Germany sent several pre-series examples to fight in the Spanish Civil War under the Luftwaffe's Condor Legion banner. This proved to be a perfect testing ground where German pilots and war planners gained invaluable experience, which would serve them well in the coming World War. The Bf-109 quickly established itself as the best fighter of the conflict, and by then was considered the best fighter in the world. This was followed by the C Clara and D Dora models, with Armament and Daimler Benz DB600 engine improvements, setting the stage for the first quantitative production model, the Bf-109E Amil. The design philosophy of the Messerschmitt Bf-109 was clear: integrate the most powerful engine into the smallest possible airframe to achieve both superior speed and agile handling. Initially, the 610 horsepower Junkers Jumo 210, a engine was its heart, but over time the Bf-109 underwent a spectacular engine evolution, from the 1,050 horsepower Daimler Benz DB601 on the E. Emil model to the DB601EN on the F. Friedrich, then the 1,475 horsepower DB605 on the G. Gustav, with some versions reaching 1,800 horsepower thanks to an emergency fuel injection system, culminating in the DB605 SEM with 2,000 horsepower in extreme situations on the late-war K. Kurfürst model. Structurally, the Bf-109 incorporated many advanced features from its predecessor, the Bf-108, including all metal-stressed skin construction, an enclosed cockpit, retractable undercarriage, and low-set monoplane wings. It was an astonishingly compact machine, almost 8.74 meters long, comparable to a small bus, with a wingspan of 9.86 meters, roughly the size of a small tennis court. Its empty weight was only 2,014 kilograms, lighter than a luxury SUV, but its maximum takeoff weight reached 2,767 kilograms. To cope with increasingly complex battlefield demands, the Bf-109 was continuously refined aerodynamically. For instance, the F. Friedrich version featured a more streamlined fuselage, a fully retractable tail wheel to improve airflow, a larger propeller spinner, and redesigned wing, with rounded tips and new high-lift devices, all aimed at optimizing flight performance and handling. The power of the Bf-109 was evident in its performance figures: a maximum speed of 578 kilometers per h, many times faster than highway speed limit, a service ceiling of 11,125 meters, higher than Mount Everest, and an operational range of 1,095 kilometers, enough to fly from Hanoi to Da Nang and back without refueling, and a climb rate of 1,006 meters per minute, allowing it to dart into the sky like an arrow. The Bf-109's armament also evolved with each variant, from 7.92 millimeters machine guns on the E1 to 20 millimeters cannons in the wings and through the propeller hub on the E3, then a 30 millimeters cannon through the propeller hub, and two 20 millimeters cannons under the wings on the G6. There was even a G14 version supporting 210 millimeters WGR-21 air-to-air rockets. It was an incredibly versatile platform, capable of undertaking multiple roles such as fighter, bomber close air support, bomber escort, interceptor, and high-altitude interceptor. However, despite its engineering prowess, the Bf-109 suffered from a critical flaw: its narrow track undercarriage, centered beneath the fuselage, while contemporary fighters typically placed main landing gear under the wing roots. For better ground stability, the Bf-109's design concentrated most of the weight at a single point. This reduced wing loading, but was extremely dangerous during takeoff and landing, leading to thousands of accidents and requiring exceptional piloting skill. One peculiar Bf-109 project was the Bf-109Z Zwilling twin, which fused two Bf-109F airframes into a long-range heavy fighter equipped with two DB605 engines and capable of carrying up to 1,000 kilograms of bombs. However, the sole prototype was damaged in an Allied bombing raid, and the project was cancelled, in stark contrast to the successful American F-82 twin Mustang in the Korean War. Soon after its introduction, the Messerschmitt Bf-109 was put to the test in the Spanish Civil War, under the banner of the infamous Condor Legion. Bf-109B models quickly demonstrated absolute air superiority against Soviet and Republican adversaries. Spain became the perfect testing ground where German pilots honed their skills, developed aerial combat tactics, and gained invaluable combat experience, preparing for the larger conflict to come. In 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, initiating World War II, over 1,000 Bf-109 fighters were in inventory, quickly outclassing all lesser Polish air forces. From there, the Bf-109 spearheaded rapid advances into Holland, Belgium, France, and Norway. Only the French Dewoitine D.52 fighter posed a real threat, but in insufficient numbers to make a difference. By the summer of 1940, the Bf-109E became central to the Battle of Britain. Initially, they achieved great success in dedicated fighter sweeps. However, the inefficiency of the twin-engine Bf-110 heavy fighter in the bomber escort role forced Bf-109s to adopt the same mission, significantly reducing their primary combat effectiveness. Britain's efficient radar and communication network, along with the steadfast determination of its people, allowed the Royal Air Force, FS, to successfully resist, indefinitely shelving Hitler's invasion plan. Nevertheless, the Bf-109E remained a formidable adversary to Kitty Hawks, Porty Warhawks, in North Africa. In June 1941, during Operation Barbarossa, Nazi Germany launched a surprise attack on the Soviet Union. Bf-109F models dominated the skies, destroying a large number of Soviet aircraft and creating many German aces. Despite initial successes, the protracted war and harsh Soviet winter slowed the German advance. In the fierce Battle of Kursk, Bf-109S fought alongside FW-190s, but the Soviets ultimately secured a decisive victory, marking a turning point on the Eastern Front. Germany's allies like Bulgaria, Romania, and Slovakia also deployed Bf-109S. In the North African campaign, starting in April 1941, Bf-109Fs were equipped with tropicalization kits to cope with the harsh desert condition. However, with the involvement of American airmen and the arrival of modern fighters like the P-50, 1 Mustang, 38 Lightning, and P-47 Thunderbolt in droves, the Luftwaffe's air superiority was severely challenged. Germany lost the initiative and was forced onto the defensive. By the war's end, Bf-109S and FW-190s were relegated to roles for which they were never initially intended. Shortages of spares, fuel, and experienced pilots significantly weakened the Luftwaffe. In desperate measures, Bf-109 variants were converted into night fighters to defend the Reich against British night raid. Even the most powerful Bf-109 K6 and K-14 models could only see limited action in the final weeks of the war, with too little time to make any significant impact before Germany's capitulation in May 1945, with a total of 33,984 to 35,500 units produced. The Messerschmitt Bf-109 was not only Germany's most produced fighter of World War II, but also the most produced fighter of the entire war. It served as the backbone of the Luftwaffe on all fronts, contributing to the destruction of thousands of enemy aircraft and creating numerous aces not only for Germany, but also for its allies like Finland, Romania, Croatia, and Hungary. After the war, the Bf-109's legacy did not end. With the fall of Nazi Germany, Czechoslovakian factories, untouched by Allied bombing raids, continued producing the Bf-109G variant under the Avia S-99 Swan 199 designation. More astonishingly, Israel acquired some models from Czechoslovakia in 1948 to equip its fledgling 101 Squadron, a historical irony where a symbol of Nazi Germany served this newly formed nation. Spain also licensed, produced the Bf-109 as the Hispano her 1,109 per hectare, 1112 until 1958, and these were even fitted with British Rolls Royce Merlin engines. The Spanish Air Force operated Bf-109s until 1965, long after its retirement in Germany. From Bulgaria to Switzerland, from Finland to Yugoslavia, the Bf-109 became part of air forces across Europe, a testament to its flexible design and extraordinary adaptability. Despite harboring a deadly flaw in its landing gear, the Bf-109 was respected by all warring factions. As a formidable combat machine, it was not just an aircraft, but a symbol of technical innovation and military might, having etched its name into aviation history as one of the greatest fighter aircraft designs of all time. Hit that subscribe button to discover more fascinating stories about the machines that changed the course of war with Afterburner Z.